Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is Monday, June the 10th, and we've got an exciting report today. Stick around to the end of this video if you want to hear how to make 5% in less than 2 weeks on your money in the market. I've got a tip for you that I don't think you can go wrong with. If we look at the Bloomberg app and the futures section here, we can see that all three of the North American indices are in the red at this point, and it is 9 minutes after 8. So we're still about an hour and 20 minutes until the trading day opens officially in North America. If we flip over to the Yahoo Finance app, you'll see that mostly red on the screen here, exception being Crude. Crude is up 68 cents. If this continues, and this is the trend or the curve to watch, I would expect that oil stocks will do extremely well today if we continue to see an upward momentum and upward trajectory. So keep an eye on crude as we head into the open. This can obviously fluctuate significantly, but if we continue to see an uptrend, we're very likely to see that crude uptick roll over into oil stocks. We can also see the VIX is up almost a point, so it has just crossed 13. It is still extremely low, so not a great deal of concern there, but always something I want to keep an eye on as we're kind of getting out of earnings season, although there are a few huge companies that are reporting this week that I'll get into in a minute. As we scroll down through our list, health and retail right there at the beginning, you can see not a lot of movement, and certainly not a lot of consistency. Some of the retailers are up, some of them are down, not by a tremendous amount. So I'm not really focusing on retail at this point. You can see again at the bottom, Humana in healthcare, up 8.20 pre-market. Don't get too excited about this. This stock seems to forever be up or down $8 to $10 or $5 to $10 pre-market, and then it often opens at even or up or down a little. So we'll see what happens today, but not aware of any significant news to justify an $8 bump on Humana. It has been climbing steadily, so it obviously got hit over the last, we'll call it 6 months, and dropped over $100. So it is now starting to make its way back to not even close really at this point to where it was trading back in January. If we look at the chart quickly just to see that, if we look at 6 months, you can see that in January it was a $480 stock, and then it dropped significantly at the end of January down to $350, $360, somewhere in there, and then it dropped again here in April down to the low 300s, and then it continued its decline as it continued on. It dropped as low as the low 300s, almost the 200 mark or high 200 mark, and now it's starting to make its way back. So I do expect that this stock is going to climb its way back up into the mid 400s, probably by the end of the year, maybe into early next year. But it is not likely to do that on a rocket ship trajectory at any point. You can also see in the transports, JB Hunt is up $1 pre-market. This stock has been operating in a bit of an envelope from, let's call it, the 158 range through to the 162 range. So we'll keep an eye on what this does. You can look at the 1 month chart back in, call it early to mid-May. It was up in the 170s. It released earnings. It dropped significantly here on the 21st after earnings on the 20th. And it's just been kind of hovering in this range. If you can pick this up in the low 150s at this point, it's kind of our bottom resistance level. I'd say there's probably other resistance levels in the 157 range. And then I would dump this as soon as it got to 161 or higher. So that's kind of where we are with JB Hunt. It is an opportunity to have some movement there, but not one that I'm pursuing actively unless I see a big drop. We can see in oil, most of the oil stocks are up in the morning in the pre-market. Not significantly. I think they're still waiting to see if crude holds for the day, and we should see some pretty good volume, I would anticipate, today in the oil sector. And then we move into tech. So what I said at the beginning of the video was, what is one way to make 5% in less than a month? CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike, you can see, is up $20 pre-market, almost $21. They had good earnings. They were up from the 300 range just about a week ago up to 349. And they're on a bit of a rocket ship trajectory. This company and GoDaddy are about to be added to the S&P 500 index. And whenever a company gets added to that, everyone that has a balanced portfolio that includes the index has to include the stocks that become part of that. So they'll drop the two stocks, Comerica being one of them, I can't remember the other, that are leaving the S&P 500. And they'll add the two that are joining, and that often gives them a bit of a lift. So just watch for the volatility in CrowdStrike and or GoDaddy over the coming couple of weeks. And I think what you'll find is there's a huge opportunity there to make a great percentage return in a very short period of time as that gets included in the S&P 500. As we scroll down, we have some earnings announcements this week. One of them on Wednesday the 12th. Wednesday the 12th is Broadcom. So we'll see as we move down here. Broadcom is set to announce in 2 days. This will be an interesting one. I'm a little nervous about Broadcom going into earnings only because of what we've heard from other semi-manufacturing stocks. It's been a bit of a mixed bag. Unlike NVIDIA, which has had consistent, amazing performance, some of the semis have missed with future expectations. So I would be a little leery of this. Oracle is also announcing. Oracle announces post-market tomorrow, so end of day Tuesday. So that's another one to take a look at. Again, I've been in and out of Oracle in the past. I'm not 100% sure where they're going to land with earnings. I'm a little leery. They're basically at where they were in terms of stock price after their last fabulous earnings report. So there is a fair bit of opportunity for a movement there, but I'm not sure what they're going to come back with. I think that their earnings will be good. I'm not sure if revenue and future forecasts will be where the market wants to see it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And then on the 13th, Thursday, after market close, we see Adobe's numbers come out. And this will be an interesting one from my perspective. I do hold Adobe. I've taken a bit of a hit this year on Adobe because it has dropped twice on past earnings, but it started to climb back, and I think that they will be talking about a very integrated AI story, and it's the AI that's really hurt them at this point because a lot of things can happen in, we'll call it video production and image creation that don't require humans anymore. So the AI can generate videos, can generate images, and it may displace some folks, which could then displace sales of Adobe software. I'm not sure that I'm 100% behind that at this point. I mean, maybe it will come in the future, but I think that there's still a lot of potential for this company. Solid financials and a great organization. It does not pay a dividend at this point. That could be an announcement that we hear out of this company this week in their earnings report. We'll have to wait and see, but I think we'll have some good future. I'm hoping we'll have some good future guidance out of Adobe, and I do expect a positive bump on Adobe itself. So that's where we are on the tech side, and then we go down into banking. So this week on, Wednesday, we get core CPI year over year for the month of May. It's expected to decrease 0.1% to 3.5% from 3.6. So we'll see if that maintains. Obviously, we're not anticipating at this point any U.S. Federal Reserve interest rate cuts in July any longer, let alone June, but in July. So we'll probably have to wait until everyone in finance goes out to Jackson Hole, Wyoming in August for the big powwow meeting out there and see what comes out of that. And I think we'll see that financial stocks will potentially climb slightly into August, but I don't think they're going to do anything spectacular until we start to see a rate cut, which likely won't come until maybe even October, November at this point. So we'll see whether we even have one in the US before the US election. But there are some financial stocks that are moving and still provide some good opportunities. SoFi, one of my favorites, under $7. I think this is a steal. It's like it's on sale. It would be one that I would continue to add to and have in my portfolio. I also like JP Morgan and the big ones, Morgan Stanley and Goldman, when they drop within a certain range. If Goldman gets back into the 440s, I would certainly acquire and pick up some of that. And as JPM drops into, say, the low to mid 190s and Morgan Stanley really at the 97s, it's not that unattractive, but I think it might get down to 92, and I would certainly pick some up in the low 90s. So that's where we are on Monday, June the 10th. Hope you have a great trading day. Don't forget about GoDaddy and CrowdStrike. I think those are the golden goose stocks right now that will lay you some golden eggs and return an incredible profit for you in the month of June. Good luck with your trades. If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel. Tell someone you know that's interested in investing in the market and putting their money to work for them, and leave me a like and a comment.